Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And to all my brothers out here preaching this truth to you, I say Shalom. This is a Montezar from the Chicago camp coming back at you again with another lesson entitled Power to the Beast. So I ran across this news article, okay, dealing with the UN demanding permanent global emergency powers to tackle climatic events and pandemics. Okay. So the United Nations is demanding global emergency powers. Okay. And in the background, you see this guy in the World Economic Forum. Now, you have what's called the uh, the New World Order. Okay, the New World Order. So you have these globalists that are headed by Amalek that are pushing the New World Order. Now, this New World Order is total control and the enslavement of all the nations and the people on the earth. All right, ultimately culminating in what we call the RFID microchip to be implanted under everyone's skin. Okay. So there are stages that has to be, this has to go out in stages. Now, right now, we're at the point where they're getting rid of the digital or the dollar. So you have the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency, about to be implemented. Okay. So now your resources are going to be completely electronic and completely controlled, all right, by Fed now, okay? Um, and now they're asking for more power, okay, where they can basically inflict their military on any so called sovereign nation as they see fit based off of pandemics and things of that nature. So we're seeing power being given to the beast. All right. Now, what is the beast? The beast is Esau's system. Okay. And the Lord has already revealed that to his prophets, to his servants, the prophets. Let's get a couple of scriptures before we begin. Um, I want to start out because we see all of these devices in real time as they're happening. Just like just reading this article, you know, you can see where power is being given to the beast. Okay, so let's go Amos 3:7. It says, "Surely Yahweh power will do nothing, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants, the prophets." Okay, all right. So the men of the Lord, in Ephesians the fourth chapter, the Lord has given. Um, let's go to Ephesians 4. 4:11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers. For what? For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge and of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Okay? So now in this truth, okay, you're getting the truth. You're getting the truth. All right, because the Lord is giving his secrets to the prophets. What are the secrets? These prophecies. What Christian church or so-called black Christian church or any Christian church that's warning you and telling you about what this devil is doing in the earth. Okay? What is he doing in the earth? We're telling you exactly what he's doing in the earth. Ezekiel 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Okay? This is the Lord. The Lord is telling us to give warning to Israel. How are we giving warning to Israel? We being watchmen. We're looking at the news. We're reading the articles. Okay? We're lining up. We're showing you lining up the scripture. Just like now. Okay? How they giving power to the beast. Isaiah 56 and 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, and every one for his gain from his quarter. Okay? What is Creflo Dollar preaching? Is he telling you, all right, about what's going on with the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and how power is being given to the beast? Okay? Or Joel Osteen, who had money in the walls in the bathroom of his church. he wasn't paying taxes on. Is he telling you about the beast? Is he breaking down what the beast is? Is he telling you about the whore that sitteth upon many waters? Nah, he's not telling you any of that. None of these cats are. All right, but let's get into the article and then we'll come back with the scriptures. All right, ain't nobody telling you anything. The men of the Lord are telling you. All right, so this is from Slay. It says the UN demands permanent global emergency powers to tackle climate events and pandemics. Let's get into this. It says the unelected United Nations is demanding that world leaders give the globalist agency permanent global emergency powers to tackle any shocks that could allegedly emerge from climate change or future pandemics. All right. It says the UN or United Nations is set to outline a far reaching plan to secure emergency powers that would allow the global body to lead a common agenda for all nations. Okay. A common agenda. Now, keep in mind, 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. Yahushua is coming back to a world that's going to be ruled by Esau Edom. Who's got these far reaching plans and power to secure emergency powers? It sure ain't us. Okay? It says the organization claims it needs the power to override sovereign countries' laws. What's an example of a sovereign country's law? First one to come to mind is Russia. Because they're going to be in opposition to NATO. Okay? But NATO is going to have the power, supposedly, all right, given by the whole world. All right, so Russia will be in direct um, opposition because that will be a sovereign country. Okay, so the organization claims it needs the power to override sovereign countries' laws during any complex global shock, such as a major event in outer space. Okay. All right. So Yahushua is coming back in the clouds, which is he's gonna come back with chariots. Okay. We already know that. So every time you see these UFO sightings, we already explained those to the chariots of the Lord. But we know this devil, this dragon, wants to make war with Yahushua on his return. Or major climatic event. Major climatic event. What is that talking about? Okay. Well, this damn uh, Bill Gates wants to block out the sun. It says the intergovernmental agency insists that it needs these powers to be in place permanently, just in case it needs to enforce tyrannical restrictions on the public to deal with global shocks. Okay. Now, that tyranny, again, that's going to extend into your bank account because your bank account is electronic. They're going to be able to shut it off if you don't comply with whatever the standard is they want. So if another pandemic happens and they say, hey, you got to take this stabby wabby, you say, I'm not taking that stabby wabby. Guess what? They're going to cut off your resources until you what? Comply. All right. Alarmingly, Democratic President Joe Biden, sellout, has already pledged his support by the authority or for the authority, and the White House plans to bypass Congress on the decision. Federalist reports, all right, that a plan that the plan is to be finalized at a September 2024 summit of the future. During this summit, the United Nations will adopt a pact for the future. The pact will include policies that have been outlined in the globalist body's Our Common Agenda report, as previously reported by Slay News. You see this common agenda? All right, that's that New World Order. Okay. One such policy is an emergency platform during any events that have a global impact that will provide the United Nations the authority to actively promote and drive an international response that places the principles of equity and solidarity at the center of this work. Keep in mind that the UN has a military. Another policy includes rolling out global mandatory digital IDs for the public that are linked to individuals' bank accounts. All right, we just said that. Let's look at this little tweet right here from IT Guy. Meanwhile, the United Nations would be given unprecedented authority over the public and private sectors of huge swaths of the world, all in the name of battling yet another unknown crisis. What could possibly go wrong? See, people tweeting. It says the report notes that some details of the emergency platform were outlined in a paper from March. Antonio Gutierrez noticed that what it says, the unelected UN Secretary General declared, I propose that the General Assembly provide the Secretary General and the United Nations system with a standing authority to convene and operationalize automatically an emergency platform in the event of a future complex global shock of sufficient scale, severity, and reach. Okay. It says the paper gives several examples of what could trigger the emergency authority, including major climate event and future pandemic risk, a global digital connectivity disruption, a major event in outer space, and general unforeseen risk. Okay, a global digital connectivity disruption is blackouts. Okay, it goes on to suggest that the United Nations would have the power to oversee and control the stakeholders of the world. These stakeholders include governments, academics, private sector actors, and international financial institutions. The United Nations states that it must have unchallenged control over these stakeholders to ensure there is a unified global response to whatever crisis is declared. All right, here's another tweet by Amuse Takeover. The United Nations is planning to seize global emergency powers with Biden's support. It says the proposal might be the biggest attempted power grab in the history of the United States. If approved, the United States, as we know it, would it as we know it could cease to exist. Galaxy Alpha. I've read of this before, and it's alarming. The United States would relinquish its sovereignty. Sovereignty. This must not happen. Americans will lose their freedom. The pushback to stop it should be intense. All right, back to the article. It says the paper further suggests that such authority would ensure that all participating actors make commitments that can contribute meaningfully to the response, and that they are held to account for delivery on those commitments. It also states while the emergency authority would have an initial finite lifespan. Okay. So listen to this. So they always talk out both sides of their mouth. Listen to this. It also states that while the emergency authority would have an initial finite lifespan, however, comma, it states that the UN would be able to extend its own powers indefinitely at any time it sees fit to do so. You see? So in other words, once you give them this power, all right, you can't take it back. They're going to use it when they ready to use it. It says the Federalist Report notes that the Biden administration has backed the proposal on multiple occasions. Has backed the proposal on multiple occasions. Reporter John Haskins responded to news that Biden has approved the measures by warning. It says if the emergency platform is approved, the United States as we know it could cease to exist. So why would Biden back something that will give complete sovereign of his country to the United Nations and then turn around and say, yep, if the emergency platform is approved, the United States as we know it could cease to exist. All right. So that just doesn't make any sense. These are all actors, okay? They're all paid puppets. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video now and come back on a part two. Okay. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. This has been part one, Power to the Beast.